Hey guys, this is ATech is here. So this will be our second video for this YouTube channel. So the first video was we talked about how to deploy the two-tier application into the AWS EC2 instance. So today we're gonna do the three-tier application deployment into AWS into EC2. So I also talk about give you some of the deep knowledge regarding the two-tier application. So it's gonna be similar to the two-tier application. But this is gonna be like three-tier application. To begin with, the three-tier application is widely recognized the framework for the structuring the software application. It defined and they divided the application into the three distinct layers. The first one is the presentation layer, which is the front end, and the front end usually handle the user interface and the application tier. There's the second part, which is the back end, where the data processing occur, and the lastly the data tier, which is like database. This is the responsible for the data storage and the management. So this architect facility separate the concern, enhance the scalability and improve maintainability by the isolate each tier specific function. So for this today, we're gonna talk about what is the three. I'm gonna do the show and tell, with the hands-on, how you can deploy the three-tier application into your AWS EC2. So this is our first, we're gonna do initiate the two-tier server instance for the backend plus front end. Previous video, if you guys don't see the previous video, you can go back to my channel and see my first video where I separate make a two separate like server. One is for the backend, one is the front end. But here like for this video, we're gonna do the like something different. So we're gonna make a like one server where we're gonna add the backend and the front end together, and the another server we're gonna make the database. Then we're gonna install the MySQL on the database server. Then we're gonna in the database server we're gonna create some of the database with rigor table and like input some of the information into the to the application, and also we're gonna switch back to the version 2. Um, then we're gonna create a new user type for the database in the database server. Then we're gonna run into the backend application and connect the database and using the user privilege defined in the database server. Then we're gonna run the front end in the same server and try to log in the database from the front end. Then we're gonna run the application and see the result. So with that said, we're gonna go to the main hands-on. So we're gonna first go into the AWS cloud dashboard. And in the first video, if you guys don't see it, please go back to my first video where I show you the details of the what is the AWS, what is the EC2. So for this video, we're gonna go to the EC2 instance, and we're gonna create a instance, launch instance. We're gonna put this one as a database. I'm gonna click on the as our OS image, we want to because we want to use the Linux version of that. So everything will be by default like same. We're gonna have the t2.micro, and we're gonna I show you guys like how to use the create a new pair. Since I have like a lot of key pairs, so I'm not gonna make for this video. So I'm gonna use the existing key pair that I already have it. So this one database. So I'm gonna use the database key pair. and I'm gonna keep the same and launch instance. And then I'm gonna make another instance for the front and back end. So I'm gonna put the name as a 2-tier, or we can put 3-tier since it's gonna be front and back end and the database. So 3-tier. It's gonna be 1, 2, and I'm gonna use the existing. We can use this one or 2-tier. Yeah, that's fine. 2-tier, 2-tier. This one, and everything will be same. So for the database instance, we're gonna go and do some like changes for the inbound rules. As I show you what is the inbound rules in the first video. So we're gonna go to the database and go to the security, and we're gonna click on the security group, and we're gonna put the edit the inbound rule, add the role, customs TCP. So for the MySQL, like the port number, default port number is 3306. So we're gonna put this one and put the save rule, and then we're gonna go back to the instance, go to the 3-tier, and we're gonna do the changes for the inbound rules for security groups, edit the inbound rules, add rules, and we're gonna put like one for 5,000 is for the backend. We're gonna add another one for the 3,000, which is for the front end. We're gonna set the rules. We are good to go. Then we're gonna go back to the instance, and we're gonna click on the database. We're gonna click the public IP address, and for to run the like server, we need the like if you're using the MacBook, you can use the terminal, but I'm using the Windows. So I'm gonna use the mobile storm for as a like to connect my server into the like terminal. So we're gonna session SSH. We're gonna paste the copy of the IP address. I'm gonna put the Ubuntu advanced private, and this for the database. So we're gonna use the database key. Okay, and it should able to give me the okay. It's for the database. One thing I want to show you something for this one. So here you can see the IP address, and this is your public, I mean the private IP address, which you can be find here. You see the private IP address. So I want to change the name into like whatever server we're gonna use it. So it's gonna be database. So how do we change it? So for that we need to use this command line. So we're gonna go into the sudo bin, then slash etc slash host, and we're gonna change the local host. We're gonna put the database, and we're gonna WQ save it and exit it, and we're gonna click do this command line sudo hostname ctl, then set hostname, and we're gonna put the database as the hostname, and we're gonna do the sudo reboot. Okay, so It's gonna reboot the terminal, so we have to give some of the time to reload it. So we're gonna do another create a new session for the like a front. Remember we created a front and a back end three-tier application server. So we're gonna create this one, and we're gonna copy the three-tier application IP address, copy the public IP address, paste, put Ubuntu, and we use the we use the two-tier, yeah, the key. And then it's gonna take a little bit of time, yeah. So it's open, so we're gonna do clear, and we're gonna do the same thing for this one, like as a database. So let's do that. We're gonna do the sudo, then bin /etc/hosts, and add, we're going to add the, we can put this as three tier, okay, three tier, WQ, save and quit, and we're going to do the sudo hostname ctl, then set hostname, and we're gonna put the three tier. Okay, we're gonna to do sudo reboot. I think so. You're gonna click on the R, so it's gonna reboot the server. So you can see our name is updated as a database. So you're gonna clear the terminals. I like to work as organized and clean environment. It's gonna keep loading. It's gonna take time a little bit. Okay, give it time for reload. We're gonna do work on the database right now. So we're going to install the MySQL. For that, we're gonna do the sudo apt update first. So you're gonna update all the dependencies if it's missing. Okay. Now we're gonna do the sudo apt install MySQL server. Yes. So this will install the MySQL server, and it's gonna take a little bit of time, maybe 10 to 20 seconds to install all the server. I think this should be good. Let me check. Yep. And you can see the name is changed as a three tier. So let me clear the terminal. So installing all the MySQL server. Now we're gonna use the see if the server is running, or we need to, so for that we need to install the net tools. So to install the net tools, we have to do the sudo apt install net tools, uh, sudo apt install net tools. Okay. So now we're gonna run this command netstate on nested lp So you can see like this is the our port for the MySQL, so it's running. It's good. Okay. Now we're gonna go to if you do MySQL, you can see you have access denied. This is because by default MySQL is for the root user. So as you can know, like you have to log in as a super user. For that, we can use this command sudo su super user. So right now we are in the like root user. And now if you do MySQL, right away you can get the MySQL. And for if you do exit, you can exit from the. Now we're gonna do the like cd etc MySQL. Now we inside the MySQL and we have to go to the like this MySQL, the MySQL, this file. So we can do cd MySQL com.d. Okay, we're inside this folder. Now we're gonna go to the sudo bin mysql.cnf and we're gonna, I think it's not showing. Yeah, I make a mistake. So we have to go this folder, not this one. So we have to edit this folder. So we can do sudo bin mysql d.cnf and we need to change the bind address into the 0.0.0.0.0 to make available for any public to be like get access. So for there we need to remove this 0.0.0.0. Also need to change this one as well. 0.0.0.0. So we're doing this because like by default like the server is has for the binary address and the MySQL. So when you run the server, you don't know what's the like IP address you're gonna be used. So to prevent the like any problem, so we need to go into this folder and change the binary address and the MySQL address into 0.0.0.0 to make it available for any public IP address. So no matter what IP address you're going to use, you will able to get access to it. So then we're gonna do the WQ and the summary and to save and quit. Now now we'll do sudo system ctl restart MySQL. So this will restart the MySQL. Now if you do the nested channel P, you can see 3.0 is a 000, so you can get access from any IP address. Okay, this part is done. So now we're gonna move on to the electric tier application. So for that, like we need to sudo super, you have to log in as a super user. Then we're gonna go to the telnet and we have to copy the database address, which is this one. We we using this command, so we have to connect the backend with the database. So that's for that we need to use this command telnet, and you have to paste the IP address, and then we put the port 3306. Okay, it's connected, so we are good to go. Now we're gonna move back to the database, and we're gonna log in as a sudo super user and MySQL. And inside the MySQL, if you use this command, show databases, show data. So this is uh, the table we have. So first we're gonna create a database. For that we're gonna use the create database to tier. Made mistake. Create database to create database to tier. No, why I mean mistake the spelling. So create database to tier. Oh, I know I cannot use the like semicolon. So create database to tier. Okay, let me clear the create database to tier is gonna create now. The queries, okay. Sorry for that. I made like a lot of mistake and let me spell the like word, so that's why it's keep erroring. So if you do the show databases, and you can see the two tier is table is added. So to go inside, so we have to create a password for the root user in the MySQL. So for that, we're gonna use this command. We're gonna do the alter user root localhost identified by, we can put the password as a like test 1 2 3 4 for now. Okay, now we're gonna do the flash privilege. So what the flash privilege do, whatever like you changes do, so this push the database to immediately change this. Let me spell again, we spell the flash privilege, privileges, okay. So it's created, so now we're gonna do the create user to prior users, then at the rate percentage identified by put the password 1 2 3 4, and we're going to do the grant, so this will grant all the privileges on start mean like all public address to tier users at the rate and percentage with grant option. Okay, now we do the flush privilege again. Now if you do the exit, and we're gonna do the sudo systemctl restart MySQL. So it's gonna restart the MySQL. Now we're gonna go back to the database, the backend for the 3D application. And we're gonna install the MySQL client. So for that, we're gonna use the sudo apt install MySQL. We're gonna use the client. Yes. So it's gonna install. It's gonna take a little bit of time to install the MySQL. Depending on your internet speed, it's gonna take a little bit time. And now it's installed, so you're gonna do the sudo apt update. It's gonna update all the packages or any dependencies missing. Okay, it's good. Now we're gonna do the sudo MySQL EO2 prior users -p -h host, and the database IP address we have to put, which is, so it's gonna connect the database IP address. Okay, -d, then root here. So ask for the password. So it's asking me for the password we created in database, which is test 1 2 3 4. So we put test 1 2 3 4. Okay, you see, is we are able to log in as a MySQL. See, it's working. Now we're gonna go back to the database, and we're gonna to use this command sudo, show databases. Oh, yeah. So login as a sudo super user. Then we're gonna do MySQL and show databases. And you can see our truth here is the table is created. Now we're gonna use to go inside the use this table. We use this command use to tier. So we are now inside the two tier. As you can see, there's nothing inside the table. So we're gonna insert some the information insert. We're gonna create table users ID int not auto CRE auto increment email voucher can put 100 password put the voucher and do 100 primary key ID. Okay, so what do we do? We create the table, the name user that has the ID, which is auto increment. So it's gonna automatically generate all the ID, and we give the email, has a character of 100 limit, as a password has a character of 100 limit, and the primary key is ID. Now we're gonna create the another table, which is about the history. Create table history, and we'll put the ID int not null auto increment. Put the number, which is a voucher. You can put as a 50 for this one, and response voucher. We can put 50 for this one as well. And we can put the type voucher. We can put 50 for this one as well. And time stamp default current time stamp, and we put the primary key, the ID. So what I did, I created a table named history that has the ID, which is not it's gonna be auto increment. So it's gonna be generate the ID by itself, and it has a number, the character limit to 50, has a response, it has a character limit to 50, type 50, and time. I use the default time stamp for the current time, and has a primary key with the ID. Now, if you do show tables, show tables, and you can see that it has the user and the history table. And I'm gonna insert some of the information into the user. So I'm gonna create a user email and password has a values. Um, so you have to use the. Okay, let me write it the code, then I'm going to explain the code. Oh, oh, silly mistake I did. So it should be users, not. So it should be users, not user. Okay. So what I did is like I insert information into the table called users, and I input the like email and password, which is value. The email value use the test 123, for example 123@gmail.com. You have to use the double quotation for to whenever you do the value for the MySQL. And I put the password, I keep the same test 1234 for the password user. So now if you do the select star users, oh, select from users, you can see it's already created the I123 use. So if I make another, so if I make another, like for example, I show you the auto increment. So for example, like let me copy this one and paste it. Oh, you can see is auto generate the ID 12, same user and password. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the backend. And remember in my first video, I have to authenticate myself into the uh, key, I mean the GitLab to like clone the project. So we have to go back to same, exit, and to remove from the exit. Okay. Now we gonna use the same keygen. So read or SSH. See, if you go and check my first video, you're gonna see what is this one for, so you able to understand. So this is basically I'm gonna copy the my security like a RSA key to go like authenticate myself into the GitLab so I can clone the project. And then we go to cd, then we cat ID 8025.519 POV. Okay, so we're going to copy this one